In the first week, we have gone over two different subjects. Basically, in Islam, the subjects are going to be divided into two. Number one is going to be called your beliefs. Number two is going to be called the rulings of actions. Okay. In Arabic, it is called aqidah, and for beliefs, and for actions, it is called fiqh. If you want, I can write it in Arabic.
Yes.
Or write it in English too. Both, please. I'll just yeah. Number one, beliefs in Arabic. Beliefs. Number one, aqidah. Number two, beliefs and rulings. Or the correct term is technically jurisprudence. So, in aqidah, from aqidah, you have 7 branches. 7 branches in aqidah. And from, so we'll just go through the 7, okay? Number one, you have,
Believe in Allah.
number one, you're going to have Allah. That's number one, okay? And the belief in Allah is going to be called one. Yeah. One that says God is going to be one. Point number two, the second thing. Angels. Number three. Books. Number four. Messengers. Number five. The last day. Number six. Called in Arabic qadar, in English fate, destiny. And the last one, ba'ath, life after death. 7 things. If any of these 7 are corrupted, then your Islam is corrupted. Any of these 7 are not proper, everything else is improper. So these 7 are very, very important. So in the previous weeks we had gone over some of the details. I don't want to repeat those.
Yeah.
Unless you have some questions about these 7.
We have a question. I'm just trying to write instead of the 5 passages, and we don't want to.
Oh, you want to rewrite this?
Yes, the last 6.
Alif, lam, alif with a mad, kha, ra. Akhir, last day. Yeah. Okay. This is all in relation to the least.
Some narrations I've seen only the first five are.
Some?
Yeah, like they don't include the last two.
Which one?
Qadr and the
Back? Life to death? Oh, that's a mistake. Those seven, yeah,
are basically part of it.
part of it. Some maybe include Ba'ath in Yawm al-Akhir, last day, and life after death, because they're kind of connected. Qadr is separate. Okay. The second subject was called?
Rules.
Yeah, the fiqh, rules. In English? Fiqh, rules. Your fiqh is going to be pertaining to five things. Okay? It's going to be pertaining to more than five, but we'll just start with five, which is basically what they call the five pillars of Islam. So you're going to have number one, Allah, which is Tawheed. Number two, Salah. Number three, Zakah. Number four, one, you're going to have Allah. Two, you're going to have prayer. Three, you're going to have charity. Four, you're going to have fasting. Five, you're going to have pilgrimage. Now look at this order, okay? This order is very important. Why? Regardless, if a person has money, if a person has physical strength, if a person has whatever, regardless of whatever he has, every single person, if he has intellect and is sane, he can believe in the oneness of Allah, correct? Okay. After he's believed in the oneness of Allah, majority of people will have the physical strength to be able to perform 5 times a day, correct? Okay. Now we get to monetary. Not everybody has money. Not, okay, that's the correct order. Number 3, Saum, still physical, okay? Maybe more taxing than Salah, because Saum, you might have diabetic people, they don't fast. Sick patients, they don't fast. Elderly, they don't fast. But majority are still fasting. Then you have Zakat. Zakat, monetary. Not everyone has money to give. So this one is less. And the final one, Hajj, very few people have the ability to go for Hajj because it's expensive. Travel, at that time, it was mainly travel because it was very dangerous and whatnot. So the order also is kind of important because it goes from what you could say the majority down. However, if somebody does have the ability to perform any of these five, and he's negligent in performing these five, it's a very big sin. Your Islam is based on these five things. A companion came to the Prophet ﷺ, he was a Bedouin, and the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "What is Islam? What is Islam?" So the Prophet ﷺ said, "Islam is these five things." Okay. He said, "Is there anything more than this?" The Prophet ﷺ said, "No." He says, "I'm going to do these five things. I'm not even going to increase it in one, and I'm not going to decrease it in anything. Exactly these five, I'm going to just do these five." The Prophet ﷺ, after the guy left, he said, the Bedouin left, he said, if he does what he said he was going to do, just these five things, he's a man who's walking into paradise. Just these five things. Now, when it comes to these five things, number one, also in the same order that I said, number one, Allah, this is a lifetime thing. Lifetime. 24/7. Salah is only 5 times a day. This is only one time a year. Only one time a year. And once in a lifetime. Once in a lifetime? Once a year, 5 times in a lifetime. So, last week we had started Salah. Okay? And we had started the timings. Okay. Also, before we begin, I'll give you this list of terminologies, okay? And then, okay, list of terms. Number one, you have farad, F-A-R-D. This is something that's mandatory, and the mandation is by Allah, okay? And the mandation from Allah is with such a strong proof, that if anybody denies it, it makes him a disbeliever. Okay, this is very important because farad means mandatory and wajib means mandatory as well, or mandatory and obligatory, but technically they're the same things. So what is the difference between an obligatory and an obligatory, or a mandatory and a mandatory? The difference is the proof of a farad is so strong, if a person denies it, he's a disbeliever. The proof of wajib is still very strong, but not to the level where its denial makes a person a kafir. Okay? That's so. If a person he says today I'm not praying Dhuhr, like I'm too lazy to pray Dhuhr. It will make him sinful. It will make him sinful. But if a person says today I don't have to pray Dhuhr, it makes him a kafir. You see the difference? Yeah. But in a wajib, if he says, oh, I don't have to pray with him, it doesn't make him a kafir. Yeah. Number three, but both of these you could say obligatory, and number two, mandatory. Number three, you have sunnah. Sunnah means anything that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam he did, said, or consented to. Did, said, or consented to. Number four, you have nafal. N-A-F-L. It means something that is recommended, or you could say voluntary. Voluntary, actually, that's better. Nafal, voluntary. Number four, you have mustahab. Mustahab means it's recommended. This is something that is recommended. And number five, we have mubah. Mubah means this thing is allowed, it's permitted. Okay? It's not voluntary, it's not recommended, it's just something that's allowed. On the flip side, you also have these terms. Okay. In Sunnah over here on this side, this was what was Sunnah? Yeah. Okay. Now Sunnah, you have two types: emphasized, less emphasized. Okay. Emphasized, less emphasized. Okay. And on this side, you're gonna have halal which is something allowed. Kind of the same as mubah, but a little bit different. You have halal. Number two, you're going to have haram, the opposite. It's prohibited, not allowed at all. Number three, you're going to have what's called makruh. Makruh means it's disliked. Okay. Makruh is of two types. Let me write it for you. Makruh is of two types. You have tanzih and makruh tahrimi. Makruh tanzihi and makruh tahrimi. Makruh tanzihi means this is the border of haram. This is the border of haram, and you are over here. Let me write it. This is the border of haram. Okay, haram is here, which means it's 100% prohibited. Eating pork, 100% prohibited. Makruh tanzihi means you're right here. Okay, you're right here. This is the limitation. Makruh tahrimi, this one, it means you're right here. They're not at the same level. Because this guy, he's so close to haram. And this guy, he's close, but he's not that close. It's disliked. If he does it a few more times, it's still bad. I'm not saying it's okay, but it's not at the same level. They're two different levels. Tahrimi and tanzihi. If a person indulges in what is called dislike, he frequents in it, then he becomes sinful. If he does it once, okay. Twice, okay. But if it's something that he makes it his habit, he becomes sinful. Okay.
So example would be somebody eating restaurant burger.
What restaurant burger?
It's not halal, but it's kosher.
No, that's haram.
Yes.
Yeah. That's not at the level of. When it comes to food, you don't have makruh. Food is either halal or haram. You don't have something, this is dislike to eat. But you could say what is makruh to eat is maybe something like processed food. And the reason why it would be put in makruh is because at the end of the day, it's detrimental to your body. Anything that's harming your body is makruh. But you're not going to say it's that high because, processed, it's not like that dislike. But at the end of the day, you're harming your body, so it's a little makruh. But it's like less on the level of makruh. It's not like haram. But food itself, whether you can eat this or not, that is either halal or haram. There's no such. And we'll have the topic of food later on, I think.
Give an example of like getting into a fight and you had no choice.
No, that's permissible. When you're getting into a fight when you had no choice, yeah, that's allowed. Like self-defense. Yeah, that's not makruh. An example of makruh is smoking a cigarette. An example of makruh is, or some people will put it at the level of haram, but it's like around this level. Some will say it's smoking a cigarette. An example of makruh is, or like a lower level makruh, like somewhere in between, is the person who in the masjid is talking about worldly things. That's at the level of makruh. It's not haram, but it's disliked.
What about taking medicine with alcohol?
Medicine with alcohol, it depends. If his doctor has prescribed this medicine, and this medicine, if he doesn't take it, is going to be detrimental, it becomes halal. If this medicine is something that's not prescribed, and if he doesn't, he's just taking it, but he had other options, then it's still haram. It depends. And the reason for that is because in Islam, I don't want to get into too much technicalities, but in Islam, the principle is.
Quran is curative.
Huh?
The Quran is curative.
No. The principle is, that's true. But sometimes you also have to take medicine.
Yeah.
But the principle is, when you are in necessity, it allows things that are haram. In Arabic, the principle is called al-darura tubih al-mahdurat. It means you're in a certain situation. Now you have no other option. Now everything becomes halal. But I'll tell you something very interesting. So the guy is in the middle of the desert. Okay? He's about to die of starvation. The only thing available to him to drink is alcohol, and the only thing available for him to eat is pork. Okay? These are both haram, correct? Okay. But if he doesn't eat it, he's going to die. So I just said that becomes Halal. Okay. But to what extent does it become halal? It only becomes halal to the extent that he needs to live. So he can't go to an all-you-can-eat pork buffet and go crazy. It's only what he needs to live that's permissible. Everything else is still haram. Make sense? So even in the medicine, if it's something he needs, then it's permissible. Okay. Any questions on all of this? Mm-hmm. Say it again. Oh, farad is something that's obligatory, and wajib is something that's mandatory. The difference, no, what is the difference between obligatory and mandatory?
Yeah.
There is no difference. I use two synonyms. Yeah. The difference is, she said yeah, so the difference is, if a person says, I don't, farad is obligated with such a strong proof, that if a person says, I don't have to do it, he becomes a kafir. So if a person says, I don't have to pray dhuhr, he becomes a kafir. Not, I won't pray dhuhr, he says, I don't have to pray dhuhr. I don't have to fast in Ramadan. I don't have to do this. Because it's with such a strong proof, he becomes a kafir. With wajib, it's to the extent where it's very strong. You have to do this. But if a person says, I don't have to, it won't take him out of the fold of Islam. That's the biggest difference. Now this one over here.
Some people only do farz. They say, I'll just do the farz, no other namas.
Yeah, so some over here, this wajib over here, this is a term that only some scholars have. Okay, this term over here is not all, but that's too complicated. About it. Some people just have farad and sunnah, and they say this sunnah over here, this emphasized sunnah, is the same as wajib. We say it's a little bit different. There's a little bit of a difference, but this is very technical. I don't want to get into too technical. You guys will get a little bit too confused. Does that answer your question? Wajib. So an example of farad is Isha. A person prayed 4 rakat Isha. An example of wajib is witr. Witr is wajib. But this witr is wajib according to those who take it. Those who don't take it, they say it's an emphasized sunnah. Man. Let me explain to you how we got there, okay? Oh, she has a question, yes?
So I thought it was okay to eat from people of the book. So
Oh, okay.
Jewish, Christian.
Wait, let me finish this wajib and then I'll get to that. Okay. You had the 4 farad salah, no doubt about that. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna salata kanat al mu'minina kitab mawquta. Your salah is established. Your 5 salah is established. There's no, you can't deny that. Okay? Then a hadith comes where the Prophet ﷺ, he says, Inna Allah amaddakum. And amaddakum means he added, he increased. So when the Prophet ﷺ says Allah added or he increased, then it makes it sound like it's at a different level than all of these. Because he never said Allah added you to make 4 rakat sunnah. He never said Allah added 2 rakat sunnah before Fajr. Allah added 2 rakat sunnah after Isha. Did he ever say that? He said, if you pray them, this is the reward. And he prayed them. But he never stressed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala added it, correct? Okay. But when it came to witr, he said, Inna Allah amaddakum. Allah added it. So because he used that word, we say it has to be stronger than the level of sunnah. It has to be at a different level. So we say it has to be wajib. Because it didn't come in the Quran. Did it come in the Quran? It didn't come in the Quran. It came from the hadith of the Prophet. And in the word that he used, he didn't say it's farad, but it kind of implied you don't have the option of the choice. So we say, oh, it's wajib. Did you get that? Did you see that? That's an example. And then sunnah would be 2 rakats before Fajr for Mu'akkidah, and ghayr Mu'akkidah you could say 2 rakats after Isha, or 4 rakats before Isha.
So people who don't do wajib or sunnah, are they sinning?
If you don't do wajib, it's a sin. Oh, another thing I'll tell you. If a person misses a farad, salah, okay? He has to make qada. He or she has to make qada. He has to make it up. So you were sleeping through Fajr time, when you wake up you have to still pray Fajr, even if it's out of its time. If a person misses wajib, witr, he doesn't remake his witr. It's done. You miss it, you missed it. You don't make qada of it. That's another difference. So there's a few subtle differences. Understood? Okay. Oh yeah, her question. What was your question?
Because I've heard from other imams that it's fine to eat from other people's book as long as you know, like for example, kosher.
Okay. Let me explain to you like this. Everything was got here? Everything was understood in this? Okay. Let me. Okay. I don't even know if this should be uploaded because this is all over the place. But in meat, okay, what you consume, it's only between two things. What is it between?
Halal or haram.
It's either going to be halal or haram, correct? Okay. So in every other thing, everything else, the default position in life is everything is permissible until you find an evidence to make it impermissible. Everything is permissible until you find a evidence from the Quran or the prophetic tradition that says this is impermissible. So the default position of gambling is permissible, but then you found a narration that said it's impermissible. So now it became impermissible. The default position of wearing this such and such clothes, permissible. Until you found an evidence that said it's impermissible.
Wearing gold.
Wearing gold, permissible. Until you find the evidence that says impermissible. Okay? When it comes to food, the default position is it's haram until it's proven to be halal. Okay? That's the difference. In food, the default is you can't eat it until you prove it to be halal. So now when it comes to meat specifically, in terms of halal, you have to have two conditions. This is agreed upon by everyone. Condition number one is yeah. And condition number two? Yeah, but
Slaughter.
you have to have done dhabah. Okay? You have to have done dhabah. And dhabah means the animal has, depending on the animal, it has 4 jugular veins. Okay? Or some, I think, has 3 jugular veins, depending on the animal. You have to have cut all of those jugular veins. Okay? The veins that the blood is spurting from, called the jugular vein. All of these veins has to be cut. That's dhabah. Okay? This is important. Dhabah means it all has to be cut. So now you say, for argument's sake, because we could also prove that in the society that we live in, they're not people of the book. Okay? Because we could prove that. Because to say that the people of the book means they have to be following the Injil, correct? Okay. Now, the Injil clearly says that they have to wear a headscarf. Their book, even the Bible today, they have to wear a headscarf. Or the Bible will tell them that homosexuality is forbidden, correct? Okay. So, but they didn't, they're not following the book. So they're not really Christians. Okay. That's number one. So we could debate if they're even Christians, but they're not Christians, number one. So they're not saying the name of Allah. Number two, they're definitely not doing dhabah. Because if you go anywhere, the way that they slaughter animals in America is then when they shoot them. Okay? If you shoot the animal and it dies, did you do dhabah? No. So even if a Muslim doesn't do dhabah, that means it's haram. So if a Muslim didn't do dhabah, then the meat is haram. What about a guy who is so and so Christian and he's shot the animal? Of course, it's not going to be halal, correct? Okay. Now you come to the discussion of kosher. Okay. Kosher, we agree that the rabbi is a person who's still technically kind of on his religion. Okay. So maybe the name of Allah is there. Okay. And in kosher, sometimes they do dhabah. Now, what is the problem? The problem is the way it works in kosher is the rabbi will go to the slaughterhouse first thing in the morning. Okay? The rabbi will go to the slaughterhouse and he will bless the first animal that's slaughtered on the day, and then he'll leave. And the rest of the animals will be slaughtered without the rabbi. So it won't have the name of Allah. Is that understood? So until you can prove that the name of Allah was taken when that animal was slaughtered in particular, it's still his default position is haram. So that's why we don't eat kosher, because you cannot prove it's halal, because you don't know, was the rabbi there when they slaughtered it or was he not? Understood? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm just struggling to find yogurt without pork.
Yogurt?
Kosher.
No. If it comes to things that are not meat and they say it's kosher, I'm not sure what the ingredients in yogurt is. I'm not sure if it has pork.
With milk.
Because of the gelatin, sometimes they use pork gelatin.
Oh, then that's haram.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the kosher, they can't have pork.
Yeah, but even in kosher gelatin, they're still using beef, correct? And oof.
Yeah. No, you can,
No, you can find many yogurts without gelatin.
yeah. All organic yogurts are without gelatin.
I think chobani is without gelatin.
Yeah.
I think you're just looking in the wrong section of the grocery store.
Or you can make your own yogurt at home. Very easy.
But was that understood? So that's why you don't go to McDonald's and start going crazy on a quarter pounder. Because,
Say you go to a house of people,
yeah, even then, because they're
you don't
just,
ask them, and they just serve you.
yeah, but you know that they probably got it from Walmart or Ralph or whatever. Like, you know,
So just don't even
you
try
don't
it.
even try it. Yeah. Did you understand this concept? Yes?
So
No?
I just can't eat yogurt.
No. Okay. Any other questions? Question? Okay. Okay. Let's get started on the second pillar. Okay? We're gonna have 5 of them.
Excuse me, can I say something? The easy way to go to a place, Arabic store, grocery store, you have everything is halal.
Yeah.
Why would you not say?
Okay. Let me write it in English for you.
So Salah, prayer, and namaz, same thing.
Okay. Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. Last week we went over the times with the sun. Today we won't do that. I'll just tell you quickly what it is.
Until the shadow is double, right?
Yeah, but
dusk.
How about dark? Okay, those are the 5 salat and their times. Now we went over the sun position, but you can just go by the schedule. That makes it easy. Yeah. Now, you got all this?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay, let's go over here. Over here, you're gonna have
Could it be 2, 4, 2 as well?
no. If I circle it, it means that's farad. Okay? And a star next to it. Never mind, it's fine. But the circle means it's a farad. Okay? And it's extra two. This is a nafal, we'll take that out, it's fine. Okay? For the rest of sunnah. Those are the units that appear. Okay? Everybody got that? Yeah. Wow, Tara. Okay.
So with the, do you have to decide what color or you don't?
No, you do. That's part of the witr. Double witr. Okay. Now, before salah, which is very important. Before salah, the most important thing is what we call tahara. This means purification. This is the most important thing. Before you even get started in salah, this is where you're going to start. Tahara.
Cleanliness could be.
Yeah, purification, cleanliness, all that. Tahara is of 2 types. It's going to be from okay. Okay. This is called hadath asghar. This is called hadath akbar. This means you are in a minor state of impurity. So over here, minor state of impurity. Number 2 that you're going to have tahara from is going to be a major state of impurity. These are the 2 states you're going to be in, either minor or major. If you are in a minor state of impurity, what are you going to do? You're going to make wudu. And if you are in a major state of impurity, what are you going to do? This is, if you're in a major, it's like you're going to take a shower, but there's certain steps. And if you're in minor, you make ablution. Okay? The two types of ways to make purification. Okay. In terms of wudu, you have four things that are farad. Actually, you have more than four, but you have, these are the farad. If you didn't do this, it's not complete. Number one, face.
Face,
Number two,
hand,
hands and arms.
and
Number three,
muscle,
yeah. Number four,
feet.
yeah. These are the four farad. You have to have done this at least one time in order for your wudu to be counted. Okay? You have to have done it. But the complete step is like this. The complete step to wudu. Oh man, number one you're gonna have niyyah. Niyyah means that's number one. Number two, you say you're gonna I'm not gonna write it all down. Number two, you're gonna say Bismillah. Okay? That's number two.
Can you do that in the bathroom?
You say it in your head, not out loud if you're in the bathroom. You're gonna say Bismillah. Number three, you're gonna wash your hands. Wash your hands 3 times up to the wrist. Okay? After you wash your hands 3 times up to the wrist, you're going to gargle water in your mouth 3 times. You're going to use the siwak. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's a type of prophetic toothbrush from a fresh olive tree. It's called miswak. You hit the miswak. Number 3, then you, or number 4 now, you inhale water 3 times. Inhale and take it out 3 times. Then you're going to wash your face 3 times.
And in right hand, out left, right.
Yeah. Then you're going to wash your face 3 times. Then you're going to wash your arm from fingertips past the elbow 3 times. Then you're going to do the left one 3 times. Then you're going to put your hands like this. Okay? They're wet. No, like your fingertips are not like that. Okay? You pass the palms on the top of your head like that. Or no, you pass the fingers on the top of your head and the palms on the side. Like this. And you come like that. 1 time. That you only do 1 time. That's called masah. So the farad part, remember I said there's 4 farad? Which was? What were the 4 farad?
Face, hands, arms, head.
Yeah. The head, it means not the whole head. The farad part is that you have to get 1/4 of your head wiped. Okay? If you get 1/4 of your head wiped, you did the obligation. But the sunnah is the whole head on the side. That's after you do that, then you also are going to wash your feet past your ankle. Okay? 3 times. And then your left one, 3 times. The sunnah is that you do it 3 times, you start from the right, and there's some others. You do khilal of your beard and whatnot. But that is the general principle of wudu. Did you get that whole thing?
Yeah.
Any questions?
No.
Okay. Awesome. You also have 3 things that are farad. Okay. Number 1, mouth. Number 2, nose. Number 3,
Goodbye.
number 1, mouth. You gargle water in your mouth. Number 2, nose. Number 3, you have to wash your entire body where there's not even a single space that is dry. Okay? There is a prophetic way to do this, but nowadays most people will not do that because they're gonna hop in the shower and then the water is just gonna. At that time, there was not a shower head, so there was pouring water. So there is a prophetic way to do it, where with the actual pouring of the water. But nowadays, most people are just getting in the shower, so they don't really do that. But inshallah, we will go over that. Okay. Just remember these: mouth, nose, full body. Okay. For a woman, for a man, he has to get all of his hair wet. His hair has to be completely wet. For a woman, she has to get the roots of her hair wet. So if she has braids, she doesn't untie her braid because she doesn't. So if a man has braids, he has to untie his braid and get all of his hair wet. If a woman has braids, she doesn't undo her braid. She just keeps the braid, and she just has to get the root of her hair wet. Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions? Okay. I think we'll stop there, inshallah.